The distress beacon pierced through the static like a needle through fabric. Maruz adjusted the gain on his ship's communications array, watching the spectral analysis scroll across his heads-up display. 3 days out from Kepler Station, and someone was dying in the belt. He shouldn't stop. The divorce settlement had cleaned him out. Fuel costs alone would set him back a week's hauling. But the signal carried a biometric signature, juvenile, failing life support. 40 minutes of oxygen remaining. Maruz cursed under his breath and fired the attitude thrusters, angling his mining tug toward the coordinates. The derelict was a Zeng-11 escape pod, its hull scarred by micrometeorite impacts and trailing a thin stream of flash-frozen coolant. The vessel tumbled in a slow rotation, solar panels sheared clean off. Through the reinforced viewport, Maruz could make out a shape inside small curled UNMOVING. Key matched velocity and extended the docking collar. The magnetic clamps seized with a metallic thunk that reverberated through the bulkheads. Maruz cycled the airlock and pulled himself into the pod. The girl couldn't have been more than 16, but she wasn't entirely human. Lupin ears, grey-furred and tufted, protruded from tangled dark hair. Her hands ended in retractable claws, and even unconscious, her breathing carried a faint growl. Genetic modification, probably 3rd or 4th generation colonist stock, optimized for low-gravity mining operations where enhanced senses meant survival. Her pressure suit was punctured at the shoulder, self-sealing gel already hardened over the breach. Maruz checked her vitals on the suit's medical readout, hypothermic, hypoxic, but alive. He wrapped her in a thermal blanket and carried her back to his ship. She woke 6 hours later, thrashing against the acceleration couch's restraints until Maruz dimmed the cabin lights and stepped back, hands raised. "Easy," he said. "You're safe." "I'm Maruz. I picked up your beacon." The girl's amber eyes definitely Lupin gene expression tracked his movements with predatory precision. Her nostrils flared, sampling his scent. Then her gaze locked onto his left hand. "That ring," she whispered, voice hoarse from dehydration. "Why are you wearing my dad's ring?" Maruz looked down at the tungsten band on his third finger, at the inscription worn smooth by years of wear, Ad Astra per Aspera, through hardship to the stars. "What's your name?" he asked carefully. Anna Corville." She sat up slowly, ears flat against her skull. "My father was Dmitri Corville. He wore that ring. He never took it off." The name hit Maruz like a pressure door slamming shut. Dmitri Corville. His mining partner 6 years ago, before the marriage fell apart and Maruz took a solo contract in the outer belt. Before the accident, Anna. Maruz said quietly, "I need you to listen. Your father and I worked the Jovian Trojans together. There was a cavern structural failure in an ice mine. The chamber depressurized." He touched the ring, turning it slowly. "Dmitri got me to the escape pod. He sealed me inside. There wasn't room for both of us." Anna's claws extended, puncturing the synthetic leather of the couch. "You left him. He made me leave him." His last words were. Maruz swallowed hard. He said, "Tell Anna I kept my promise." Then he gave me this ring and closed the hatch. "What promise?" The growl in her voice was barely human now. "I don't know. He never explained." Anna stared at him, chest heaving. Then she reached beneath her shredded pressure suit and pulled out a small data chip on a chain around her neck. "Before the transport was destroyed, before everything went wrong, my mother gave me this. She said if I ever found someone wearing my father's ring, I should give it to them. She said he'd understand." Maruz took the chip with trembling fingers. It was old technology, civilian-grade encryption. He slotted it into the ship's computer and entered Dimitri's old crew ID as a passphrase guess. But it worked. A hologram flickered to life. Dmitri Corville, recorded 6 years ago, his Lupin features worn but smiling. "Maruz, if you're seeing this, I'm already gone. I need you to find Anna. When the mine collapsed, I knew I wouldn't make it, but I also knew something else. The company was cooking the books, falsifying safety reports. That cavern wasn't an accident, it was negligence. I documented everything." The hologram gestured, and streams of data filled the display. "I hid the evidence in Anna's genetic sequence steganographic encoding in her non-coding DNA. She's the key to bringing them down. Keep her safe. Get her to Kepler Station. Contact my lawyer Yuki Tanaka. She'll know what to do." The message ended. Maruz stood in silence, watching the evidence scroll past, internal memos, ignored safety warnings, 18 other mining accidents covered up across a decade. "He turned me into a living hard drive," Anna said, her voice small. "He turned you into his legacy." Maruz looked at the ring, then at the girl. "The promise was justice for everyone they killed, and I'm going to help you keep it." Anna's ears pricked forward. "Why, you don't know me." Because your father saved my life. Because someone needs to answer for what happened. And because Maruz managed a tired smile. Because doing the right thing is all I've got left. He plotted a course for Kepler Station and pushed the engines to maximum burn. The fuel costs would bankrupt him. He didn't care. 3 days later, Yuki Tanaka filed charges against Helios Mining Corporation. The evidence extracted from Anna's genome was irrefutable. 16 executives faced criminal prosecution. 47 mining operations were shut down for inspection. Maruz stood beside Anna in the station's observation deck, watching Earth rise beyond the lunar limb. She reached out and took his hand, the one wearing her father's ring. "Thank you," she said. "Thank your father," Maruz replied. "I'm just keeping his promise." Outside, the stars burned cold and distant, indifferent to human courage or human loss. But here, in this moment, 2 survivors had found each other in the void, and that was enough.